Before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know that I will be live streaming SummerSlam all weekend starting tonight at 5:30 p.m. right here at Ringside Cinema. So go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button right now if you want to join me tonight and Sunday for all the action that will be happening at SummerSlam. And as always, I produce weekly wrestling content right here on this channel. So, let's get into today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and one of the big matches on the card is Gunther facing Nick Aldis, the SmackDown General Manager, and it will be Nick Aldis' first match in 3 years and his first match in the WWE. Now, this has prompted a lot of fans to question whether or not this could lead to a full-time return to the ring. We don't know that yet, but what if it did? Who would fill the void as the SmackDown General Manager if Nick Aldis returned to wrestling full time? Well, let's talk about it. I have 10 replacements here who could run Friday Night SmackDown in his place if the WWE wanted to freshen up Friday Night SmackDown. And obviously, starting off the list, this one is just real easy and simple. Triple H. He already runs the show backstage, and he is basically the Dana White of WWE when it comes to all the PR, and he's front and center on WWE Unreal. So, if the WWE wanted to just install Triple H as the new figurehead on SmackDown, even just as a temporary fix until they decide who they want to be the permanent general manager, this would be an easy role to fill without the need of finding someone new. Now, if the WWE wanted to go with some familiarity to the WWE Universe, well, let's just say if Gunther doesn't like the way Nick Aldis is treating him, perhaps in a different era, he'd be going one-on-one with The Undertaker. Because, let's be honest here, I think, again, a temporary fix, unless Teddy Long wanted to come back full-time, I think Teddy Long just coming back for a short term, or even if he does agree to a long term, would be kind of fun. And he was one of the most fun, entertaining general managers the WWE has had. And I think maybe perhaps, he may not be able to make people go one-on-one with The Undertaker anymore, but one-on-one with CM Punk, one-on-one with Cody Rhodes. Who knows? Yes, indeed, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Because Wade Barrett is up next on my list, and I think this would be a very fun, entertaining role for Wade Barrett. I think, being a commentator, he's already there. Again, the familiarity with the WWE Universe, and putting him in that role as the general manager would give Wade Barrett a new role on WTV in which fans could see him in a different light outside of being a color commentator. And besides, whenever a heel gets angry at him and Wade Barrett decides not to give Wade Barrett a heel a match, well, he can just say, "I'm afraid I got some bad news." Now, this next one here would depend on the relationship with WWE, TNA, but another fan favorite within the WWE universe, and one that has experience as a director of authority, that would be Santino Marella. Santino Marella has been in the director of authority role in TNA for quite a bit now. And I think if the WWE wanted to use Santino, even as a temporary thing, I realize now most of this might be temporary instead of permanent fixtures, but it would at least give us some fresh, entertaining segments. And let's be real, I think Santino has already proven that he's still got it as the TNA Director of Authority. He still mispronounces names in a hilarious way, and he can do more of that on Raw and on Friday Night SmackDown. SummerSlam may be tonight, but Survivor Series is only a couple months away, and you know what that means? War Games. And yes, getting William Regal back on WTV would be amazing and would be a great benefit to Friday Night SmackDown. I think, for longtime fans of the black and gold era of NXT, we know what William Regal can do. And let's be honest here, William Regal might have it a little bit easier running SmackDown because he doesn't have to worry about the NXT parking lot. So there is that. Also, again, him just shouting War Games around Survivor Series just seemed right. Next up here, if the WWE wanted to go back to having a heel general manager, something that we haven't had in a while, JBL would make for a great selection here to replace Nick Aldis. I think while it's been fun not having general managers that are involved in heavy storylines, I will say that I think most fans would tell you now that they would prefer a heel general manager making things miserable for your baby faces over whatever celebrity TKO wants to push down our throat. And JBL, being that he was the WWE champion on SmackDown, would make for a good fit here in his interactions with Cody, CM Punk, and the rest of the baby faces would make for some very compelling TV. And I think with the way that SmackDown has been lately, perhaps a heel general manager perhaps would freshen things up and make SmackDown interesting again. And speaking of CM Punk, his wife used to be a general manager. AJ Lee was once the Raw general manager, and if the WWE wanted to keep her on TV until her next feud, or if she is done wrestling as a whole, they could make her the new SmackDown general manager. And I think, regardless of whether or not CM Punk leaves SummerSlam with the WWE Championship or not, I think that would create an interesting dynamic between Punk and AJ Lee with a whole new interaction, because the current crop of fans know them as husband and wife. They've tag teamed together, but them clashing as general manager and employee would be very interesting and give fans a new look at CM Punk and AJ Lee on screen. Plus, right now, I think the women's division needs a lot of help. And having maybe a female general manager might be able to fix that. Like, I know she's not in charge of the booking, but Just anything to make the women's division booking better, please. I mean, Julia lost in 2 minutes on SmackDown. What are we doing? Next up here, let's talk about the man who is facing Nick Aldis tonight, and that is Gunther. And honestly, WWE, if you want to take this idea, please do, because this is probably one of the most entertaining options on this list. Because number one, you want to have to bring in anyone new. Number two, you get your heel general manager dynamic, but it's a current superstar who abuses his power to get what he wants, and seemingly Gunther, well, he feels like he's been getting screwed over by management, so perhaps after beating Nick Aldis at SummerSlam, maybe Gunther challenges him to another match. But this time, Gunther, if he wins, he takes over as the SmackDown General Manager, and Gunther runs wild with power, goes on a power trip, gives himself WWE Championship matches, and makes himself the champion, whatever it will be. But by the time you have Gunther lose, and he loses the power of being a SmackDown General Manager and the championship, the fans will pop for whoever that may be. And I think the fans will want that, especially if you build it up over time. Now let's end this list with two fun options here. Gunther provides a fun storyline dynamic as general manager, but what about Kevin Owens? We have not seen Kevin Owens over a year now, and if the WWE did want to bring Kevin Owens back, while he's not medically cleared to compete, you could keep him on WWE in a general manager role, similar to what they did with Daniel Bryan, where you could even have Kevin Owens' first feud be against whoever is upset at him when he was general manager. And as I said in my predictions video, the current Sami Zayn character crashing out and Kevin Owens having to listen to all of that would make for some entertaining segments. So yeah, Kevin Owens, new SmackDown General Manager. Let's make that happen. But before we move on, honorable mentions here. Honestly, Adam Pearce would be one where if the WWE just wanted Adam Pearce to keep running both shows, then they could just do what they're doing now. Second, I just mentioned him, Daniel Bryan. Brie Bella is back, and I think for a lot of fans that does make them wonder, is Daniel Bryan not that far behind? Granted, he is done out of the ring, but as a former SmackDown General Manager himself, he knows pretty well how to do the job, and I think, too, that this could end up leading to his Hall of Fame induction down the line. So, be it that I don't know his contract status with AEW, I have to keep him as an honorable mention. And last but not least, my last honorable mention here before we get to number one is John Cena. Listen, they brought Cena back at WrestleMania, Backlash Tampa, and John Cena announced something about a John Cena Classic. I don't know, maybe WWE's ChatGPT forgot about it already. But and this depends on his movie roles and all that stuff and his filming, but if the WWE wanted to remember that there's a John Cena Classic coming up, they could temporarily bring John Cena back as a temporary fix to help promote the John Cena Classic, and then have John Cena announce the new permanent general manager later on. And it would provide a good ratings boost for the show because we get to see John Cena. Moving on to number 1, the man who was retired by Gunther at the Royal Rumble, AJ Styles. Because remember, SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built. So it fits perfectly that AJ Styles would or could potentially be the new general manager of SmackDown. It gives the fans a familiar face on WTV. He's a Hall of Famer. It fits perfectly. He doesn't have to wrestle. Plus, his dynamic with guys like Cody, Punk, Sammy, and the rest of the roster would make for some great entertaining TV. And let's be honest here, I think if he does become the SmackDown General Manager, I think one of the requirements has to be that he has to wear that light blue suit every week on TV. If Nick Aldis returns to the ring as a full-time wrestler, who do you want to see replace him as the SmackDown General Manager? Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I will see you guys tonight on my live stream for Night 1 of SummerSlam. I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.